Pied avocet is one of the most elegant of birds, and if I'd been told when I started birding in the late 1970s that I could see them just a few miles from home, right on the boundary of London, I would have thought it was a joke. But over 40 years later, avocets are just one of many birds you can see on the Thames foreshore at Dartford and Crayford Marshes.
I've been visiting this area for years, but in 2021 I made more visits than usual, and I've been really surprised how many species of birds I've seen. To some people it's just wasteland, but actually it's a real local wildlife refuge. Well, how many bird species have I seen? I'll tell you, but first let me show you some of them.
Greater black-backed gull is the world's biggest gull, an impressive and formidable bird, capable of stealing food from other birds or killing its own prey. Greater black-backed gull is easy to recognise with its black back and pink legs, as well as towering over other gulls, and can regularly be seen on the foreshore of the Thames at this location. At the other end of the size spectrum is the diminutive dunlin. These small wading birds can be seen here in small numbers in autumn, but I have seen impressive flocks of them here in the winter. Standing drying its wings, great cormorant is an easy bird to pick out among the gull flocks. This species is on the increase. For anyone who regularly walks on the marshes, little egret is another bird that will have become more familiar in recent years. Little egret is a recent colonist to UK, and its success may be connected to a warming climate.
Lapwings are spectacular birds. When the sun comes out, you can see the iridescent colours on the back and the wings, and that amazing crest is unique.
This splendid bird nests on the other side of the Thames at RSPB Rainham Marshes, and small flocks start collecting on the foreshore in autumn, with numbers increasing into winter.
And as if they don't look amazing enough, just listen to that incredible call.
Lapwings are handsome indeed, but to go back to the avocets, it's hard to imagine a more graceful bird. It is for good reason that the RSPB chose the avocet for its emblem. Bird lovers in Britain are lucky to be able to enjoy increasing numbers of avocets. It's worth buying a pair of binoculars just to get a good view of avocets.
This is where the River Darent meets the River Thames. At low tide, areas of mud are exposed, alongside patches of salt marsh, and on the right day this is a real bird hotspot.
Big groups of gulls gather here at low tide, and although they might all look similar, you might be surprised at how many different species there are.
Sometimes when I come here, I see lots of birds. Other times, not much at all. And sometimes, the birds are just a supporting cast for something else. Look what's turned up today.
This common seal is a regular visitor here. In fact, 2 or 3 of them frequently come to rest here at low tide. The seals are wary of people and emerge when the tide is at its lowest, so that they can see there are no predators nearby. As the tide comes in and the seals feel safe, they are pushed closer to the shore, to where I was hiding. It is quite amazing that seals occur this far up the Thames, but it shows that given some consideration, humans are able to live alongside wildlife.
Although this spot is surrounded by an industrial landscape, just sitting here by the riverside and watching the coming and going of the birds, it can be surprisingly peaceful.
Away from the foreshore, there are plenty of other birds that live on Dartford and Crayford Marshes. Areas with trees are home to birds like great-spotted woodpecker, blue tit, and great tit. While green woodpecker can be seen hunting for ants in open areas. In autumn, migrating wheatears pass through the marshes, while in winter flocks of migrant thrushes can be seen, both redwing and fieldfare. Of course, where there is water, there are ducks.
If you like duck, you're in luck.
In autumn and winter, common teal is abundant along the creek. These ducks are smaller than most species, and they make an interesting call. Widgeon is one of the loveliest ducks in the area, providing a splash of colour in winter and a joyous call. In contrast, gadwall is rather more sombre in colour, but it is increasingly common on the Thames foreshore. At the start of the video, I said I would tell you how many species of birds I had seen at Dartford and Crayford Marshes. The total is 117 species. Here are a few more of them.
You don't have to go far from home to see birds. See how many species you can see in a place near you. And watch this video next.